Welcome to Dina, Soul Steeper. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 2 lands, we've got some protection, we've got Exquisite Blood, and we've got Guardian Project. Yeah, I kind of like this. We'll keep on this one. No reason to ship this one back. I guess we could, if we wanted to. We didn't have fast mana, but we've got Nature's Lure, which is definitely a good way to get ahead on land. So let's go and lead off with Catacombs. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Overgrown Tomb? It's like I play with these lands all the... Yeah, there we go. Overgrown 2. Not going to pay 2 now. Right? We'll have that come to play tapped and then anything else. Pass the turn over to our opponent. Yeah, it's just... Play a lot of Commander games. All the names just kind of turn into puzzle pieces in your head. But yes, welcome to Dina, Soul Steeper. And if you're keeping score at home, I'm drinking some green tea. So if you want to imagine me drinking tea while we play this, you could definitely update your scorecard to that. So let's have some fun. Let's go Command Tower. And we can go for Lightning Greaves and go for Dina to get some protection on the battlefield. I just like getting ahead on mana because that puts us in a spot to where if we do hit the land drop for the turn, that puts us in a position where we can go Guardian Project, and that'll make it a lot easier from here on out. Going for Dina, getting down extra creatures on the battlefield, I kind of like that. So let's go Nature's Lure, and let's go and grab a Woodland Chasm. That way it comes into play tapped, and then anything else past the turn. We're playing Dina, Soul Steeper. I guarantee you she's not drinking... Well, maybe she's drinking green tea. Maybe she's just gotten used to it, but it's not good for Atla over there. We're playing Dina. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Then for a 1-mana activation, sacrifice another creature. Dina gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. And we do. We hit that 4th land, so let's go for it. Let's go Woodland Cemetery. Let's go for Guardian Project. And this just makes it to where we have a lot of good utility creatures in here, and running something like Guardian Project in a deck like this really helps us get that late game or mid game. I'm taking my tea steeper out, so if you heard a little ding, and if you didn't believe me, it is green tea. So there we go. Anything else past the turn? But yeah, with Guardian Project, that really does help us out. You know, we're looking at Dina next turn. We're going to be able to get down Lightning Greaves, and then also be able to just get these enter the battlefield effects, which is going to be a very good feeling for us. So that's going to be Wood Elves on the battlefield. We're playing against Atla. 2-mana activation, create a 0/1 green egg creature token. Then whenever an egg you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card on the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. All right, so we run into Windswept Heath. I think at this point, we're just going to go for some protection. So let's go for Lightning Greaves. Let's get Dina on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and crack Windswept Heath. That way we don't draw into the dual source that we would be searching up. Let's go and grab ourselves... I think we'll just go and grab Bayou. That way we just have whatever we need. We do have a couple different... And actually, we might grab Sapseep Forest. 2 more green. We need to get a couple green permanents for that to be active, but if we can start pinging away at our opponent, that might be good. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go and grab Sapseep. It's a good option for us. You know, while we have the tutor open, let's go for it. So let's go for black-green. Let's get Golgari colors going. Let's have Lightning Greaves come on to Dina. Let's go for Guardian Project trigger. And let's get Lightning Greaves. Oh, there we go. Run into Veto, and we're going to have Vindictive Vampire. So that is going to be a very good feeling. Let's go and push in for 1 because we can definitely make the trade with Wood Elves. Swinging it for 1, and then anything else, let's pass the turn. So we did cover Atla. Oh, one thing I did want to mention with Atla is that if you're thinking about building her, whenever an egg you control dies, that counts as a changeling. They've been making a lot more changelings recently, and so in fact, there's some good changelings out there that you can just run as eggs in Atla, which is a ton of fun. So if you're looking for a Naya deck that's not just turn them sideways and get a bunch of creatures out there, Atla is definitely a fun commander to build. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link. That's going to allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're going to play Commander online, if you're in the market for a playmat, let's give a quick shout out to ingaming.com/Jolt for 10% off. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. But if you're keeping score at home, it's officially free time. Let's get some good stuff moving. All right, so we run into Savra. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We can get Veto onto the battlefield. And I think I kind of like going Veto. You know, that... Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's do that. So let's go Veto on the battlefield. And I guess at this point, if we give... Yeah, because either way, that's going to be the same thing as getting Exquisite Blood on the battlefield, and we're going to be able to cash in a card draw. So, and actually, let's do this. Let's get Veto on the battlefield. That's going to be a Guardian Project trigger. And then we go for a Sap Seep Force activation because we do have green sources. Yeah, let's do that. And so let's get Veto. Let's target our opponent. And let's always yield to Dina. Okay, anything else past it? So for some reason, I was thinking if we went for that activation, that we would get a loop going. But to be perfectly honest, and I will explain this a little bit of an editor's note, as far as I'm a huge Aristocrats fan, I've been playing Aristocrats forever. As far as the life gain, life loss kind of loops that get going, I kind of not forget what they are. I just don't have a ton of experience out there. So if I kind of miss like a infinite life gain, life loss line of play, definitely let me know. But I'm also just giving you a heads up that if you're watching this video and I miss a line of play, this is probably the second or third game that I'm playing with Dina. And so just, hey, if I miss a line of play, just giving you a heads up, that's what's going on. But we can still get Exquisite Blood on the battlefield for next turn. That's going to be double the effect with Veto. And I think that'll be a pretty good option. So our opponent did get an egg on the battlefield. Nothing too crazy over there from them. No board wipes or anything. So we're definitely liking where this game's going. And we're still going to be able to capitalize on Guardian Project. Now, we do have Life from the Loam. But I think with Ancient Tomb at this point, I kind of like going for that. So let's get Ancient Tomb on the battlefield. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and I think instead of going for Exquisite Blood, let's go for Vindictive Vampire. I think that'll work out, because that way we can just kind of double up on that effect. So let's get Vindictive Vampire onto the battlefield. And that still keeps us open on going for Life from the Loam. We can go for the Sap Seep Force activation, but at least we're going to be cashing in a card draw with Guardian Project. Ooh, the Guy's Cradle. That's going to be really nice, especially with Pest Infestation. Anything else? Yeah, I think at this point, with us having double effects on the battlefield with Dina, I think we're just going to pass on Life from the Loam. We've got Guy's Cradle. We do have creatures on the battlefield which we can't tap down for extra mana, and that'll really allow us to power out this Exquisite Blood for next turn. So anything else past the turn. We could swing in at this point. We don't really want to crack that egg token. One of the things with Atla is that if they have eggs on the battlefield, but they have no way to make that egg die, it's kind of like, they are getting a hatchery going, essentially, by them continuing to get the egg tokens out there. But if they don't have a way to get rid of the egg token, or at least enable that Atla trigger, then we're kind of in a good spot. So at this point, we're just going to be passing the turn, because we don't want to give our opponent any extra creatures out there. Now, depending on how they've built this, we did see Wood Elves. You're probably just going to see more of a value build of Atla. Destroy all creatures. All right, anything that we can do in response to that? Yes, we can. We can go for Sap Seep Force activation, so let's go for that. That's going to be 1 gain 1 life. Let's get the Veto trigger on the stack, and then whenever you gain 1 life, let's go and always yield to that trigger, and then always yield. And we're actually going to end up with a pretty nice Vindictive Vampire trigger. We'll see if that ends up working with Dina at the exact same time. I think it'll just end up being Death Trigger, so... Alright, so let's return Dina back to the command zone. Let's get Vindictive Vampire triggers on the stack. That's going to be 2 life loss for our opponent. And we'll see what these egg tokens have in store for us. The only downside is we don't have a board wipe right now. That would be good, but at least popping our opponent down to 20, we'll take that. So we'll see what this value creature is. Oh, it's going to be Verdant Sun's Avatar. Okay. Gain life equal to that creature's toughness, so they go back up to 25 and see what this one is. This is going to be Yavimaya Elder. All right, so we're just kind of looking at a mid-range Naya value build of Atla, which is a ton of fun. We can definitely get around that. And our Guy's Cradle is a little bit worse, but we can still end up going for Dina and still have a little bit of an active Guy's Cradle if we need to. Ooh, so we've got Life Gift. So let's do this. So let's get Dina onto the battlefield first. We're going to tap down Ancient Tomb. Let's go for the Guardian Project trigger. This is going to be extra card draw. Let's go Lightning Greaves onto Dina. Let's go for Life Gift. We could go for Savra, but I think at this point we just want to get Life Gift. We want to get this just kind of nickel and diming effect going pretty quick. So let's get Life Gift onto the battlefield. Let's get the life gain going from Bayou. Let's go and always yield to that trigger. Definitely want to gain a life and have them lose a life. Yes, definitely use that ability. And then we have nothing else for 1. We could swing in, but we're looking at a 5/5, so we're not going to send in Dina into the command zone. We're simply just going to go ahead and pass the turn. But yeah, if you haven't seen this video, I did record with it a couple weeks ago. Maybe a little bit longer than that. There's nothing too crazy in this deck. I think there is, if we get Exquisite Blood and we get Sanguine Bond onto the battlefield, I think that does start to loop back and forth. As far as me having any other you know, back and forth combos in here. If they are in there, I didn't put them in there. So if I missed them, that's why. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, if you get Dina onto the battlefield and you just kind of stack up these other effects like Veto, you've got Vindictive Vampire. It just kind of makes for this really interesting Golgari, you know, slowly draining them for that life total, because one of the things to take away from Dina is that Dina does not give you per life. It just says, hey, when you gain, oh yeah, then life gift triggers for our opponent. Yeah. Yeah, this is some good magic. But yeah, this is pretty much what we're doing with Dina. You know, we get down something like Life Gift, and we just slowly start letting that T seep into the air, letting our opponent, oh goodness. All right, so we're definitely going to have a little bit of trouble with them gaining life with Verdant Sun's Avatar. And so, we'll see what we can do. With them getting Skull Clamp on the battlefield, this does make this Pest Infestation a lot better, and it does set us up potentially to tap out for a semi-decent Guy's Cradle. I think that'll work out. All right, so we got the Dino swinging in for 5. That's going to drop us down to 25. And let's see what we can rip into. But at the very least, just having Life Gift on the battlefield to slowly start chipping away at that Sun's Avatar. Never mind. With these horses, this is not going to be good. All right, so and especially them having Indestructible. Okay. All right, so we've got our work cut out for us. All right, so we run into Viscera Seer. And yeah, let's go for this. So we end up going Viscera Seer. That's going to be a Guardian Project trigger. Because a board wipe's not that bad. If we get a board wipe going, we'll definitely get rid, you know, we don't get rid of that one horse. All right, so we can tap down for 2. We go for Pest Infestation on Elixir and Skull Clamp because we definitely don't want that to be active. Okay, so we're going to pop Skull Clamp and Elixir of Immortality. They don't have a way to shuffle Elixir or go for that activated ability, so we're in a pretty good spot. We get these Pest tokens onto the battlefield. Let's drop in Guy's Cradle. And, oh, yeah, well, either way, we had to get that down. So, yes, we'll use that ability. Let's tap down Guy's Cradle for 6 total mana. Let's tap down Black for Exquisite Blood. And then we've got an active Life from the Loam. Yeah, we go for that. And we still have access to Nature's Claim. All right, so we'll take that. That's a pretty good turn. All right, so let's grab both of those, click OK, and that'll also help us out with Life Gift. So we do like this. So anything else? No, we will go ahead and pass the turn. So we do have Nature's Claim. We can actually use Nature's Claim as a way for us to, you know, destroy something of ours and get that extra life gain. But at this point, with them having a life gain source out there, we do need to find our way in this Sanguine Bond. Let me double check that card real quick. So let's go to Skyfall. So with that, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So I think we might have some sort of whenever opponent gains life, they lose life trigger. If we could find that card. To be honest, I can't remember if I included that in our deck building, but if we do run into something along the lines of that, that would definitely help us out. But at the very least, you can see if we weren't playing against a life gain deck, or at least having our opponent having a Verdant Sun's Avatar out there, we're set up really well to, once again, kind of start chipping away at our opponent's life total. Being able to get these Pest tokens on the battlefield, you know, that does help us out getting rid of their artifacts, and it also, you know, you can imagine if we had Vindictive Vampire out there with something like Viscera Seer, you know, we could start sacking those out, because even at this point right now, if we crack Viscera Seer, sacrifice these creatures, we're still going to get this 4 life gain, and that's going to drain our opponent for 4. The only downside is, you know, we are looking at a 5/5 horse. And at the beginning of each step, if you gain life, so they have to get the enter the battlefield trigger to get that 5/5 horse. So they have to have another creature enter the battlefield. So they can still end up tapping out for Atla. That will still give them an additional horse. The only downside is that if we do end up going for a board wipe, with Crested Sunmare, they're going to be able to get these indestructible horses, and that still should leave these token horses around on the battlefield. So that's going to be a little bit of a bummer for us. But let's see what our opponent's going into the tank for right now. See what they're tapping out for. All right, so our opponent's going to make a Mountain Land Drop for the turn. That's going to be an extra life gain. Let's go for the Exquisite Blood. Let's go as always yield to that trigger. Oh, there we go. Never mind. We've got it. We've got the loop. Okay, so I knew the loop was in here at some point. Maybe I just stacked the triggers wrong. And if I did that, I do apologize. But I think... yeah, maybe I messed it up, but anyway, look at that. We got the trigger going. Like I knew, and see, this is what I'm talking about earlier in the video. I know there's a way that you can go infinite with that, but look at that. We do get past the life game, drop them down to 6. And maybe that was it. Anyway, yeah, if I post this video and you were screaming at yourself, why didn't you go for this earlier? Maybe I just put the the triggers on the stack wrong or something like that. But anyway, there we go. Opponent made the lane drop for the turn. We have Dina and the Exquisite Blood out there. We're able to close it out. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video. And we still had Nature's Claim too. Sorry, my daughter ran and banged on the door real quick. Scared me. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.